Hey there. This is the me of the present, I suppose. Um, this video was recorded way back when the quest was actually somewhat new. Actually, I was a bit late, but yeah. 13th June 2025 is when I recorded the video. My lazy ass just never got to editing and then uploading it. The same applies to the next quest as well, the 2.4 quest, both halves. I've already done them, I did them when they released, more or less. I just never edited them. If you're putting the numbers together, yes, this is being edited after I've already done 2.5 as well. So, yeah, all that's on the backlog, and hopefully I don't procrastinate anymore. Alright, hello. I am incredibly late. I am so late that the next fucking version started. So this is awkward. It's also the second day now, so I guess now you know for sure when I was recording this. But yeah, I think I've missed out. Oh yeah, this is something that I noticed very quickly, but because I never made the video, I never get to say it, but... So yeah, the music actually has a different set that loops and loops. It's very nice. Alright. It is June 13th, the day after 2.4 drops, and instead of pulling for Cardathea, I'm here doing the previous patch's story quest. For anyone curious as to what actually happened, and why I'm so late, it is simply because well, for one thing, I procrastinated. What the hell is happening to my frame rate? The update dropped like halfway into the patch. And yeah, it dropped like alongside Ciaccona, right? So it was like halfway into the patch. And on top of that, I just was busy. It was like Night Rain released, so I was playing that non-stop. And so on and so forth. So look, point is, I procrastinated, then I was preoccupied, and now I'm here. And for anyone who's curious, I have put in 90 hours into Night Rain at this point. I have gotten all the achievements, obviously. I've got all the remembrances, if you understand what that means, etc. Alright, let's go. I really hope this one isn't that long. But usually Wuwa stories are like 3 hours, give and take. Oh, Carlotta. Oh, right. Of course Carlotta's here. She introduced us to Ciaccona, technically.
Rover, fancy running into you here.
Okay, why is the band so much louder?
Won't you dine with me? Ms. Margarita asked me to sample her newest pizza. But my goodness, these portions.
Oh wait, that's...
Did you hear what the Order's acolytes found while clearing the abandoned library?
Oh my god, the
Manuscript
accent.
of a poem with an accompanying music sheet. The public has already caught wind of its contents. Did you know it was signed as Golden Anthem?
I see.
They say it was their last work, written aboard the Pilgrim's Sail. I reckon the original finder fished it out the sea and put it in the library, not knowing what it was.
Shh, quiet. They're criminals. Let's not mention them in public.
Shh. name is not to be spoken of in Raguna. Simply put, the Golden Anthem was once a renowned poets' society.
Okay, time for Carlotta to say what I just read, isn't it?
Their 3 members were once the Sentinels' cantors, but the Order banished them for insulting the divinity. Allegedly, their pilgrim sail caught fire and none on board survived, and thus their last known work disappeared.
Well, since the manuscript is no longer secret, how does the tune sound?
Give me a second. Let me think. Hear that? It's exactly what they're playing now.
Well, it would appear they were possessed by daemons, just as this very article suggests. Friends!
Oh shit, I still have the crown on.
I gather you were also listening in on that conversation about the Golden Anthem's last work?
What did you mean by daemons?
Once again, very smooth animation, by the way.
Resentful of the Order's verdict,
When we weren't even
they
in a
committed
pre-rendered
to paper
cutscene.
a curse
Very nice.
upon Rinascita and Raguna. Those favored by the divinity were the most willing to raise the blade of rebellion, for they alone knew how to make divinity bleed and doctrines crumble. Though they died in exile to a great fire, their resentment festered in their music and poetry, transforming into horrors known as daemons.
By the way, so in earlier versions, I think I didn't really pay attention in 2.0 and 2.1, and 2.2 is too far back now. But it seems that they got their... Seems that they've started lip syncing these
Like
things
the
to the
fire that
appropriate
dragged
thing.
them to hell, these daemons will spread throughout the land and burn all of Raguna.
See, like the lip syncing is now
This
actually
article was
aligned with
recently
whatever
published
with
in the Raguna
with the voice
Literary
acting.
Journal. Quite the perspective, wouldn't you say? Vengeance born of resentment. Such dark and twisted characters are hard to resist. Perhaps someone unwittingly played that tune just now and opened the plushies to possession by the daemons. Then again, it's all conjecture. Those in the Poets' Society died years ago, and who's to say what really happened? Now, if those vengeful spirits really do exist, well, out of all the patrons here, they went straight for you, Rover. Curious and curiouser. By the way, it just so happens that I made a copy of the Poet Society's last work. Here, take it. Consider it a little souvenir from your spirited encounter. Maybe it'll prove useful later. Goodbye, friends. A change of venue is in order. I must finish my play.
Oh, bloody hell, okay. Ominous.
Like the fire that dragged them to hell, these daemons will spread throughout the land and burn all of Raguna. Unverifiable, yes, but not entirely dismissible. That said, a peculiar entity did indeed manifest, and it attacked you. So, let's start at the very beginning. I have a friend who's an expert in deciphering music. I believe you've met her before. She who resembles Topaz should still be near Whisperwind Haven at this hour.
Okay, I gotta do a couple changes. First, I gotta turn this up a little bit. Turn this down in contrast because it was way too loud. Okay, the next thing is I need to figure out how to get rid of the crown. Was it an item? Because usually it's an item here. That's how you get rid of your mask as well, but I don't think it's in here. How do you get rid of it? Oh, there. I see, it's in a different tab. That's why I don't know what it is. Okay. There we go. Let's go. What the hell? Oh. Alright, let's go. I'm really hoping my recording isn't fucked. Oh.
In Hellworld, poetry and music hold equal sway. Shh. Listen carefully.
Strum my strings for the endless dance of time. To fly is not to flee, but to journey towards the dreams. All the hopes will set us free from doubts and fears deep within. Let the sunrise gild our wings, let the twilight soothe our
Follow the song to find
the
her.
skyward forever wild and free.
I don't know what it was about that music, but it really gave me goosebumps there. Holy shit.
Rover!
Oh my god, I can feel them.
It's been too long.
You really must adore
That's
that
just like
song.
a really like...
I remember hearing
know
you
what
sing
that
it when I was
was.
little.
I could like feel it, you know what I mean?
When I was a child, whenever I passed by Ciaccona's house, I'd always hear music drifting from the courtyard. Lively, spirited, and so full of emotion.
I remember it well. Those two guards of yours were like giants from Septimont. Easily 200 pounds of pure muscle.
Back then, Ciaccona's family conducted the Order's choir.
How should I put it? Well, as they say, families are always rising and falling. But a song is a song, whether sung in a grand hall or beneath the open sky. As for family matters, let the past stay where it belongs. Anyway, the two of you came in such a hurry. I suppose you're not here to take in the music? Oh, so you eavesdropped on a man rambling on in C3 sharp, and then, poof, out pops a monster. Let me see. It should sound something like this. About that, Sharp Rover. I know, right? We should suggest to Miss Margarita that she add new signage. Sing with civility. It starts with us.
I was really wondering, is she going to try and replicate, replicate the accent too? And yep, she did.
Can we discuss restaurant etiquette later?
Of course. But I still need to know what kind of music could possibly have the power to conjure up those monsters of yours. The Golden Anthem. That name should never be spoken. They're criminals. To conspire with them is to risk banishment at sea. Or worse.
Don't worry. This won't be the first time we've crossed paths with the Order.
From what you've told me,
Oh, oops.
the composers of this poem cursed Rinascita, spelling the fall of Raguna. When the poem is played, some type of horror appears. If I understand correctly, that's what attacked you and Carlotta. If you ask me, this story is a right load of codswallop. I don't believe a simple little poem could curse Rinascita.
Then you...
We need to get to the heart of this poem and music mystery. Let me join you. I can't resist a good adventure. I'll help you find the link between the music and those daemons. But in return, I want you to hand these pages to me for safekeeping. Then we have a deal. Since you believe this music summons them, how about we test it for ourselves? I've already memorized the sheet music.
It's risky, but there's no surer way to find out. Wouldn't you agree, Rover?
Wait, what are we... Sorry. Okay, yeah.
The final work of poets banished to distant seas and condemned to death. What, I wonder, did the verses forged in flames truly sing of?
I'm hoping there's a lot of music here. Oh, hello. Okay. I don't know how to play Ciaccona.
Perfect wrap-up.
What the hell is going on?
Solo time.
There we go.
Presenting a poem of finale.
Come at me.
God, this is lagging my game to shit. Probably because I'm recording more than anything.
They burn in despair, resentful of the Order's verdict, till their last breath. Their last work is nothing but a curse upon us all. With our bodies to fuel the fire, the ensuing furnace shall forge Raguna's true gold. Is it saying Raguna will burn to the ground?
They wanted their resentment to echo through the streets. Just by reading this, I can almost see their terrifying faces in the fire.
These voices. They're people of Raguna, aren't they? I think I heard Mr. C3 Sharp in the mix.
If the poet's resentful souls gave birth to daemons, then shouldn't they sound like the poets themselves? Those voices were just people who read or heard their work.
Perhaps the voices themselves are what causes the daemons to manifest.
Self-fulfilling prophecy, I believe it's called.
In the legends, daemons are born of death and curses. But what we've seen isn't like that, no. They're more like horrors created from people's words and imagination. Of course, I'm just speculating. The voices were somewhat muddled. Perhaps I can refine the melody. This time, we need to listen harder. Let's find out what the true story...
Oh, is this where we get the event screen? Because I remember it was like a book.
This is a realm created from melodies. Music can transcend space and time to bring memories and stories to life.
Hey, wait a minute. I better not get time gated, I swear to God.
No. Normally, you can't perceive the frequencies in a melody. But that manuscript lets you see the world as I do. That part with the daemons should be right here.
They burn in despair, resentful of the Order's verdict, till their last breath. Their last work is nothing but a curse upon us all.
It's the same as what we heard before, but now I see something. A balance scale with a crowd of people standing on one of the pans. What are they weighing?
The two sides of the scale represent differing perspectives. Once a work is made public, its meaning no longer belongs to its creator alone, but is shaped by the interpretations of its readers. Perhaps it was a simple poem at first, nothing more. But then that article claimed it was a curse upon Raguena. Given that members of the Golden Anthem were banished on the Pilgrim's sail and died in a fire, the notion quickly took hold. No one knew exactly what happened, so they filled in the gaps with their imaginations. With motive and a complete story. Perhaps that's all it took for a lie to become the truth. Each time someone plays their last work, it summons daemons. This is the Golden Anthem's revenge and curse upon Raguena. Still, words and imagination alone cannot bring something into existence. Yes, someone must have used them to create the daemons. What if the mastermind pulling the strings from the shadows is the author of that article? Daemons are bound to their creator, so it might not be a coincidence you felt them target you at the restaurant. There could be a connection between you and this mastermind. Or perhaps they have their own reasons for wanting to see you silenced. Imagination knows no bounds. If left unchecked, such incidents will only increase. For resonators, dealing with them isn't much of a challenge. But for ordinary folk, it's enough to spark panic across the city. Finding the one pulling the strings should be our priority.
I see.
If the daemons are born from the public's imagination, then things will shift once we catch whoever is responsible for starting this in the first place. This mastermind has gone to great lengths to twist the facts, stirring fear and turning it into resentment. Maybe an attempt to cover up certain stories about the Poet Society. He must be tied to them somehow. If we can learn more about the Golden Anthem, we might be one step closer to catching him.
Oh.
Music and poetry are born from kindness and hope. Yet now they've been twisted to create these monstrosities. Whoever is behind this won't just sit back. The thought of confronting them is already inspiring me to write a ballad. What should I call it? Which instruments would fit?
Our enemy hides in the dark, while we remain in the light. If that's the case, we need to split up. With your tenacity and Ciaccona's expertise, we will uncover the truth. Someone has pointed a gun at Cat's Eye. Someone ought to pull back the curtain and expose them. The family has its ways. Tracing the article's source and finding this mastermind won't be a problem.
If we find melodies connected to the Poet Society, I can bring the past into clearer focus.
I see.
I've got it, Rover! I know a place where they've definitely left their mark. Let's go! Onward to new melodies!
Where the f...
I really admire the wind. It's free to go anywhere without restraint. If only it could carry my poems into the hands of everyone across the world.
Jesus, the crate breaking is so loud.
Ta-da! Welcome to Requiem Paradise.
Motherfucking where? I see. Interesting tradition.
This is where Raguna's musicians lay their old instruments to rest. For the people of Raguna, the sea is everything. We live and sleep by the sea, and our souls drift out to sea when we pass. Since an instrument is an extension of the musician, it's only fitting that it's buried by the sea. May its dreams be long and sweet before returning to the waves. I'm certain this is where the poets of the Golden Anthem laid their instruments to rest before their banishment. What's wrong? You seem troubled. Is that what's been on your mind this whole time? I say, if the answers aren't coming, let it all go and clear your mind. To be honest, I haven't found any leads either. But worry not, this is what we bards call a bottleneck. Once, I spent 3 days just trying to find the right words to describe a tree. Couldn't do it, not one word. So, I stood under that tree and prayed for an apple to fall on my head. You know, just like in those stories where inspiration strikes after an apple hits you. And, well, at least you get a snack out of it. Sadly, the apples weren't ripe and none fell. No free nibbles for me, unfortunately. Try it.
What? Hey, look, an item being held in a character's hand and being transferred, even.
It's a real apple.
Later, when I finally decided to leave, I
Why are we
looked up
just
through the
eating
gaps
now?
in the branches and suddenly saw a blooming flower atop a cliff. Turns out, even without an apple, inspiration may yet strike. But if I hadn't stood there, I might have missed that unexpected burst of beauty. So, maybe this is enough. Let's put aside heavy thoughts and continue our walk with a clear mind.
I'm starting to understand why Carlotta calls you Topaz.
That is a very pretty CG. Is this what they call long walks by the beach? In the classic
Is
dating
that so?
profile?
But I'm nowhere near as dazzling as the sun. If anything, I'd rather be like Icarus in the story, soaring freely in the sky, even if it means falling in the end.
Please don't start talking about birds, freedom, and falling. Not this shit again.
I sense the melody of an instrument close by.
Oh. Is this... Is this the normal music here? Literally no one goes here that often, so... That is big.
A harp. It's in excellent condition.
Is that a moon-shaped
Its
harp?
tones flat and
Harp?
dull. Let's keep it for now and see if there are any other instruments nearby.
Yeah, it is a moon. What? Oh, a guitar. Or a lute or some shit. I don't know the difference
Is that
between all
a
of
lute?
these.
Its
Okay, it
echoes
is a
are
lute.
faint. Perhaps because it's been abandoned longer than the previous two. I'll need some time to decipher it. Wait. The sound may be weak, but there's an undeniable strength to it. Rover, behind you!
Is this the music that's in this? I don't think it is.
It seems this lute likely belonged to a member of the Poet Society. Which is to say, it holds the melodies they left behind. Perfect chord.
swift and resolute.
Listen! The trio of destiny!
Ha! 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 Moment of resonance.
The timbre
Well, that didn't
also
last long.
matches. I believe this lute is exactly what we've been looking for. Sometimes, even when the instruments are the same, the performer's mood can change the entire sound. For example, this lute doesn't seek to boast. It speaks softly, like a traveller sharing a story over tea in the warmth of an afternoon. The true purpose of music is to express what words cannot. Rover, if there's something you want to say but can't put into words, if you sing it, maybe I'll understand.
But I haven't even heard you sing yet.
Me? Perhaps another time. Once all this is settled, I'll perform for you. Be sure to listen closely then.
Also, what do you mean you haven't heard her sing? What do we call that first
Now,
one then?
it's in the lute's hands.
When we met her at
I
the start
hope
of
this
this
melody
quest.
holds a tale worth telling.
Like 10 minutes ago. Or 15? 20 minutes? What the f... It is June. We're a few months off from Halloween.
Listen. I hear something up ahead. It seems like an interrogation room. This melody carries the weight of the Poet Society interrogation. Let's keep moving. Take care with each step. The melodies left by these instruments are extremely fragile. The realm we're about to enter will appear fragmented. We may find ourselves straddling vast rifts in time and space. A single misstep
I hate
could
that.
draw us into other melodies, leaving us lost within them.
Farrell of the Golden Anthem.
So, what fucked up shit
Know
did
that
the Order do now?
Imperator is stern, yet merciful. The Codex teaches us that those whose sins are cleansed by the sea shall remain blessed by the sea. It is a grave offense to slander the Sentinel. This includes your claim that the Sentinel's true form is a steed of the skies. I was told you found this lie carved on a lithograph. In the face of the tempest, a giant celestial steed carved a path for the Ark. If you admit you were mistaken at tomorrow's trial and reveal where you have hidden the evidence, I will... Remember, Imperator...
I'm sorry, Sir Acolyte. I'm doing my best to cooperate. I'm afraid that by the time I see the Sentinel, I will have lost my voice entirely. Perhaps then, they will judge you for silencing a poor transgressor's confession.
As long as you repent and help us destroy... You are a wise man.
Also, if you're wondering why I'm skipping this, it's because this is the most
you will make the
generic,
right
evil,
choice.
fucking bullshit
I look forward
ever.
to seeing you tomorrow. I will always be here.
No need to worry, Sir Acolyte. In fact,
Neither official nor private records show them as having ever
Farrell's gone mad. He ought to have... Why would he slip this dangerous knowledge into his poems? We ought to have...
buried the truth. It just occurred to me. Is that our mastermind? To that end, he stirs panic to deepen rugged words and music.
I understand what we're not adventurers or mighty resonators. Farrell only wanted to share the voice of us. Our fate has been sealed.
They don't sound like they're full of hatred at all. During the interrogation, they kept their composure and did not...
Everything seems to revolve around the Order.
We don't know that for certain.
I knew this was to be. From the moment we uncovered that lithograph, I knew it would come to this. Still, I have no regrets. But all this time...
The Order's stance is that the Poet Society concealed blasphemous works. Yet the Order themselves concealed the lithograph. That's right! You must have seen the Sentinel in the inverted tower. To keep the Sentinel's true form a secret. The melody is fading faster now and becoming unstable. We should leave.
I will say, one thing I don't really... Oh, okay, this is still going.
Where is this
Okay.
place? We must have gotten separated. Ciaccona.
You are to build a home here, like seabirds. Dwell upon the water, just as countless stars dot the night sky. I don't know if what I'm feeling is right or wrong. They were clearly the Sentinel's cantors. Why would anyone call them criminals who insulted divinity? This is a poem I've never seen before. It's so different from what they used to write. Do not place flowers on my tomb, for I do not rest beneath the stone. I am the sea wind at Raguna's walls. I am a dawn that breaks through thorns. I am a nighthawk of wings aflame, soaring towards the celestial steed, whose praises I sing and whose true form I behold.
And this is the Sentinel, but what is it gonna say here?
A flame, celestial steed, true form I behold.
Anyways, what I was gonna say is, I wonder why we haven't done anything. Like, I know it's like the easy way out, or whatever, as far as the story's concerned. Oh god. But the rover, all right, let's look through things real quick, right? The rover is the savior of Jinzhou, right? And very clearly has the backing of Jinzhou, the backing of its magistrate in Jinxi, and also even the backing of multiple powerful figures, namely Changli, namely Jinxi and Changli and Jian, right? Then we came over to Raguna, and we have the backing of the Montellis and the Phasaelias. Not to mention that we have, you know, Cardathea. My point is, why have we not made a move to, you know, get rid of the authoritarian, very clearly ranging from neutral evil to full-on genuinely evil order? Oh Christ. Okay, this is a long one, huh? Reader gives it new life. Sign your share piece of work. Yep. So let me find the term life work elusive. When discussing the concept of life, one essential topic is inevitably brought up a name. A name is a symbol of insistence, one of the most important markers that separate individual lives. If one desires to feel the vitality of a work, the most direct approach would be to feel its name, the various names bestowed by creators and readers. So sorry. Oh yeah, it's a problem that shows up a lot, not just here in Wuthering Waves, but also, not just here right now in Wuthering Waves, but also in, like, everything, really, in a shocking volume of series. Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact. But the protagonists, despite their incredible ability and incredible power, literal and figurative, just kind of sits on their ass and do what and other people push the story along. But yeah. Now granted, Rover has been doing pretty good, particularly in 2.2, but we still haven't actually concretely done anything since.
The night sky will be illuminated by wings of flame, and I shall be
I'm hoping that changes
reborn
by the
in
end of this
immortal
story,
poetry.
or I'll be very disappointed.
Because they cannot banish the truth, the Order of the Deep instead banished us to the sea. Our thirst for truth is why we were cast out. No matter what, remember this. The truth will always exist. And the truth is gold that is unafraid of the fiercest of flames.
If this story ends and we're back to square one and nothing happens with the Order and all that shit, I'm gonna be very disappointed, but let's see what happens.
What is this place? Who are you?
She's always been distant and aloof. But her true melody is both heavy and fragile. Ciaccona to...
Oh, whoops. I
As
didn't
long
expect.
as you still draw breath, lift your eyes and look. With this poem, your life is eternal.
Also, Ciaccona Toccata. This is one of the few characters who has a fucking last name.
Rover? Rover, are you alright? Finally, I got you out of there. You must have been drawn into a different melody on our way out.
I just walked into a study and ran into a strange little girl. She mentioned a name. Ciaccona Toccata.
I see. I don't know who you met, but Toccata is my family name. As I said before, for family matters, let the past stay where it belongs. Just call me Ciaccona. We don't need to overcomplicate things. Well, we have made some progress. The melody we were in gave me a hint on what to do next. Yes, seeing as they banished the Golden Anthem, we might find more clues in the Cathedral of Mercury.
Okay.
Have you found her yet? No.
She's not here either. Greetings, sisters. Might I ask, have you seen someone dressed like us who likes to walk with her head down?
No. Razor doesn't like walking with her head down. She must have gotten into some trouble. We're in the Order's choir. We're rehearsing hymns to sing at the ceremony. Racer is our lead chorister. We took a break from rehearsing to play hide and seek. But when the time ran out, we couldn't find her. Maybe she got mad at us because we sang badly. She hasn't smiled at us much since rehearsal started.
Can you tell your big sister here what hymn you're rehearsing?
The teacher says it's a hymn to honor the brave knights and the Sentinel's guidance. But Razor says the hymn was written by a bunch of criminals.
Well, which way did Racer go? We can help you look for her.
Really? She went that way.
such a beautiful voice, isn't it?
You're the laureate! And you are?
My name is Ciaccona.
A friend of mine.
Don't be scared. We're only here so that you can finish your game of hide and seek.
Hide and seek, right. Myron and the others are waiting for me. Sorry I've caused you trouble.
How about a little chat first? Something's troubling you. I can tell.
What? Of course not. The ceremony is coming up, and the choir still has so much to rehearse. I'm fine.
Young ones today have so much talent. If I had the chance, I'd love to learn how to sing hymns. You know, our laureate here definitely knows how to sing hymns.
It's just... Before the performance, the choir has to listen to the same music, recite the same lyrics, and do the same rehearsals every day. What's more, the hymn we're practicing, it was composed by bad people. Teacher calls them heretic poets. Myron and the others never complain. They're always eager to sing praises to the Sentinel on stage. But now, their dreams are all dashed because of me. Myron, Patero, and Shear's voices are in perfect harmony, but I can never keep up. And I don't like this hymn. Myron and the others are too young to realize that heresy is a grave offense, but I know. I just don't understand why the Order wants us to sing songs written by criminals. The more I thought about it, the more out of rhythm I became. In the end, I could barely sing at all. That song just now. I've already forgotten how it's supposed to sound.
Well, what do you think a hymn should sound like?
A hymn, as the books state, is a song of praise for the Sentinel who leads the lost to the abundant lands.
No, not that. I mean, how does it make you feel? Try to remember what you were feeling when you were singing alone in the corner just now.
Oh, I didn't want to hold everyone back. And I really wanted to help everyone have a great performance at the ceremony.
Then hold on to that feeling. Let's rehearse again. You don't have anyone sitting in on your rehearsals, do you?
Uh-huh. No.
Well then, the laureate and I will be the first to hear you perform.
Again with a thumbs up.
This is a cathedral.
Okay, I'm gonna go faster through this.
With the Poets Society leading them. Looks like it's a ceremony of some kind.
On the surface, yes. The Order certainly upheld Raguna's prosperity and stability. The poets praised for their songs to honor the... Simply knowing the Order once stood with the poets doesn't reveal the true reason behind their banishment.
It's Sounds like a song celebrating the knights who defeated—
Degenerates! Arrogant! Hypocrites, every last one of you! You have no idea what happened! Not at all! Has the Order reduced our sacrifices to mere tales to be told over tea? The Sentinel's blessing! Ah! Where were you when we fought the Tacit Discords at Whisperwind Haven? Where were—
This is madness! Who is this madman? Someone remove him from here immediately! Do not—
What he said about the common folk, is it true? Tell me, were they also sent to fight at Whisperwind Haven?
What a mess. Strange. Why is this passageway so long?
Afternoon tea! Yes, please. The odd tea and biscuits, miss. I'll reapply the medicine once you've finished. There, I understand. You've always been a curious child. Look at this. This book says the flower doesn't live long. But that's silly. Miss, this study is a secret. You must never tell a soul. I understand. But I've always wondered, why do people say they're guilty?
Track
there are so
from the
many
page again.
interesting poems and songs here. Why won't Father let me see them? Oh, you'll understand when you're older, miss.
Oh, it's going different places this time. Oh, and off we go.
Oh, what splendid singing!
Racer did wonderfully. Thanks to you, I figured it out. Sincerity is what truly matters when we pray and sing praises to the Sentinel.
Yes, a hymn isn't just a few lines of history. It is shaped by your feelings and experiences. A hymn may differ in each person's eyes, but its resonance and meaning are universal. I hope you'll give the audience a spectacular performance on the day of the ceremony. So, what did you see in Razor's melody?
The Poets Society was criticized for glorifying the knights over the common folk during one of their hymn performances. Their assumption—
This incident may have been— a turning point for the Poets Society. Did you find any other clues? Next time we venture into the realm of melody, if the Order's choir is pointing us to Whisperwind Haven—
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know how much longer I'll do this. I do like
I've heard of these
having
nights during my travels. This should be where their old encampment stood. But there don't seem to be any instruments, poems, or music here that carry the memory of a melody. Let's try searching the area first.
As I was saying, I do like having these videos archived. Having these videos in my playthroughs archived, but on some level, like, the idea that someone else will see this means it's kind of in my mind, you know. I can't quite go through the way I normally would. Normally I'd be going through this much faster and only thinking. I don't really talk much, as you may have noticed, so this whole entertainment bullshit ain't really my thing. But at the same time, if anything interesting happens, I want my reaction to be there, you know? You can't redo your first time seeing something. Although, that certainly won't stop some YouTubers. They'll most certainly pretend it's their first time. But yeah. This is extremely long and I'm blanking out here. Hold on. Okay. Okay, they're just describing the place.
These bonfire poets were no doubt members of the Poet Society. To find the melody, perhaps inspiration.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Didn't go that high, did you? Whatever. Nope.
This was the last stop on their route. Oh, the view just now as we soared in the sky was just breathtaking. What is it? Has anything come to mind? Oh, yes. How did I miss that? It rises from the primal, churning endlessly, echoing in our ears without end. I believe the melodies left by the Poet Society were witnessed by the wind, and it will carry them to us. Playing a tune, of course. I want to capture the mood they must have felt when they were here. I'm curious as to what they left behind.
Rimbo and Selena must have returned to Raguena by now. That lithograph of the Sentinel's true form. It has to be here somewhere. Did that gentleman guide us intentionally? Who exactly was he? Backpack stuffed with papers claiming to be a common artist, traveling in search of inspiration. Yet he spoke like a nobleman. But I can't afford to think about that now. If not for his help, we'd still be singing praises to a false Sentinel. He's right. We cannot continue to sing for the Order anymore. We must enlighten the people of Raguena. They deserve to know the truth. The Knights of the Order defend only the Order's interests, and so the time has come for us to become knights for the people of Raguena.
It seems someone told the poets the truth about the Sentinel, and even suggested they stop singing solely for divinity and begin singing for the common folk as well. On the surface, what our mystery man said makes perfect sense. He even has knowledge of Imperator's true form. And this hidden lithograph is evidence the poets were telling the truth. Is this form of the Sentinel the same as the one you saw at Avon Oleum? So the poets were indeed banished for uncovering the Order's secrets. Even under interrogation, they held their silence. It wasn't until they met this mysterious man and learned the truth that they chose to become Knights of Raguena. Resentment and curses are not songs of their own style. As for the true mastermind, we still have no direct proof linking him to the Order. We must confront his lies and put an end to these daemon incidents. But once the truth of the Golden Anthem at Imperator is revealed, it will no longer be just a matter of daemons. But is now the right time?
The will of the people is strong. This mastermind is so sure that the lies about the Sentinel will go undiscovered, and that no one will easily believe the truth. The truth exists to be uncovered. All we need is to plant the seeds of doubt in the people's hearts and let them take root and grow.
Yes. We'll go back to Margarita's. It's where our story began, and it's where it must end. Miss Margarita!
Well, hello. If it isn't Rover and Ciaccona. Oh, Miss Ciaccona is a regular around here, you know. I've even asked her to perform a few times. Helps bring in the crowds.
Actually, I've come to ask a favor of you today, Miss Margarita. About the Poets Society's legacy. There's something important we'd like to share.
Not a problem at all. Did you make any big discoveries? I'm so curious about what actually happened. It's driving me nuts.
By the way, what even is Margarita? Like, the ears and stuff. What is she supposed to be? Well, I'm pretty sure she's a normal human, but, you know, like, what are those supposed to be?
Rover, we'll begin when you're ready.
Okay, hold on, just give me a moment, but, like, because, like, what is that? I'm not... It's clearly based on Bakey, but it's like, is it a hamster? Squirrel? I think it's a squirrel. But I don't know my fucking animals. Anyways, let's go, I guess.
let's pick up where we left off. The poets did board the Pilgrim's sail, becoming the stars of their own final act. We all know how that tale ended. A great fire consumed the ship, dragging it to icy depths, and the poets of the Golden Anthem with it. But hear this. Banishment did not breed hatred in their hearts for our city, and the flames did not scorch a curse into their music or poems. If you wish to hear their true voices once more, seek them at the Cathedral of Mercury. The children there still sing hymns written by the poets of the Golden Anthem. And yet, not a single daemon has appeared, even as those poets faced their end. As the fire filled the ship's cabins, they penned their last poems with death drawing near. Perhaps they were greeted by the Sentinel in their final moments. Or perhaps they fell silently toward death. If the poets truly meant to curse Raguna, why would they write such obscure poems? Why not simply leave their works behind in Raguna? No. Their last words were hastily written as the flames closed in. This charade, it was carefully crafted, twisting their work to conceal the truth. We already have... No. Tomorrow, at the Odyssey Opera House, I will reveal the truth. Until then, I thank you all for your patience.
This can't... This is very confusing.
Previously.
Sorry.
Loria, is this all real? What do you mean by the truth? Did you discover something? The poets of the Golden Anthem, they were...
Oh, shit.
Fascinating story indeed. You've certainly piqued everyone's curiosity. The speech you made just now, you're implying the poets of the Golden Anthem were framed and their works deliberately misinterpreted.
Exactly. Someone used the story of the Golden Anthem to stir the public's curiosity. This is what created the daemons.
If memory serves, official records of the Order of the Deep state the poets were charged with blasphemy against the Sentinel. Surely you're not suggesting this was all the Order's doing? I dare say, such remarks would be considered a grave crime, punishable by banishment.
Are you from a noble family? The city's elite have a habit of siding with the Order.
I'm afraid you misunderstand. I admit, I do get that question quite often. I am but a traveling playwright. Your presentation brings me back to a play I wrote in my youth. A group of birds, locked inside a cage. Convinced they will never fly, they do nothing but stand on a perch.
I don't think we've seen this kind of cutscene since, like... fucking... what was her name? The Mask Lady in 2.0.
Then, one day, the cage door opened.
I think.
The young birds flapped their fragile wings attempting to fly, but plummeted to the ground, one by one. Many consider their fate a tragic one. What say you?
I see it differently. Even if they met their end falling into the abyss, they still had a chance to glimpse the sky and spread their wings.
And what of those who chose to remain in the cage, having witnessed their predecessors fall to their demise? Will they dare to reach for the skies after realizing the cost of choosing to fly? Does the truth exist to protect or to harm? That is the question. Miss Poet, I look forward to tomorrow's arrival.
A splendid retaliation. I witnessed all of your performance.
Jesus Christ, why is she so white?
Like everyone present,
The
I
lighting.
too eagerly anticipate tomorrow's arrival. As expected, the Order's fingerprints are all over it. According to our inside sources, it was none other than acolytes from the Order who salvaged the poet's lost works from the wreckage. They've long known of their existence and hid the poems in the Order's library. It's possible this was a sham all along. Choosing to make it public now likely means they're using those poems to obscure the real truth. Now, considering the fact that the untraceable article first began circulating among poets, musicians, and playwrights alike, I think it's fair to say its author is a regular of such secret circles. He may even be the resonator we've speculated about. His collusion with the Order is why these rumors are allowed to run rampant in the streets. I'll have someone follow this secret circle's trail and see what we can find. We should also share these findings with Ciaccona. As a poet,
That's strange. She was
just like when we were children. Gone without a trace. And she and her family disappeared without even a goodbye. Ms. Margarita, have you seen Ciaccona?
Miss Ciaccona? She was squirreling off towards the harbour earlier. I thought that's where you were meeting, so I didn't say a word. She did look quite down, though. Never seen her wear such a gloomy face before.
Thank you for letting us know, Ms. Margarita.
Why don't we split up and look for her at the harbor?
Earlier before? Those mean the same thing. In this context, that is.
The young birds left their cage, flapping.
I never thought his words would reach into the depths I sealed away so long ago.
Coming here implies you worry about tomorrow's outcome. You intend to reveal the truth of the Sentinel to the public. But that revelation, it comes with a price.
This is the past.
And here I thought you'd be much wiser than this. You know the dangers of pilgrimage, yet you all still cling.
The truth has its thorns, and the golden anthem has already paid its price. Do you wish to relive their fate?
Is that what you're trying to tell me with your play? But you know nothing of how the Golden Anthem responded.
Allow me to share the answer, Sir Acolyte. Do you remember the very first voice from the heavens? The one the people of Rinascita kept alive in their hearts as they built their homes on this land? Surely you've seen The Golden Bough, yes? A play where people from various clans wear masks, singing and celebrating together. An occasion you now call Carnival.
And?
It is words and songs. We are not your enemies. What you face here is something that is hard to describe, something I call reverberation. It exists forever. You can never defeat it.
You pitiful fool. Off to the seas with that reverberation you believe in so dearly.
The Order of the Deep seeks to banish us to the seas because they know they can't banish the truth.
Hear that? The bell they tolled. I will be the one to carry its sound forward.
The parallels, so striking. Just like the day the Poets Society boarded their sail. So this is the resonance they babbled on about. After all these years, another group of fools is ready to march down the same path. Why are there always those who believe the Sentinel is some damned horse? The poets were at least clever enough to hold their tongues, but you have the nerve.
Is that so, Sir Acolyte? I do hope you dream of this sentinel of yours every night, then.
Spare me your sarcasm, you insolent bard! You're nothing but a mouthy relic, the last of what remains of your wretched family.
Ah, so you've already tasted their fate, haven't you? You and your family. Such a dramatic turn of events. As cantors of the Sentinel, both the Toccata family and the Poet Society committed the same crime. Tell me, what is the connection between you and those poets?
You're nothing but a figment of my imagination. None of this concerns you. It was a price when I was a child. I lacked the ability to prove the Sentinel's true form. But now, I believe, the opportunity has presented.
Opportunity. Indeed. Do you intend to repeat history? This time, dragging Rover along with you? Boarding the pilgrim sail and clinging to hope as the storm carries you away? Isn't this what you're afraid of? You've unraveled the hand behind it all. But the Order will never allow such truths to see the light.
There we go. God, it takes so many attempts to fucking screenshot something without the fucking text.
Rover, Miss Carlotta, and all those you've gathered along the way will be forced to bear the consequences of your quest for the truth. And perhaps even that blessed maiden whose whereabouts remain a mystery to this day. Even so, will you two still insist on stepping onto that stage tomorrow? Have you really made your choice? I look forward to the arrival of tomorrow, Miss Poet.
Is this Ciaccona's sheet music? She was here. The vision I saw seems to have been recorded from this. Ciaccona mentioned she always writes down her melodies on manuscript paper. Could this be? An interrogation room. Being the girl in the Poets Society's study must have been Ciaccona. What happened last time was no accident. But why was she there?
Because they did the same thing?
Thank you for understanding everything. Is there anyone else here besides you? You must have touched the Golden Anthem's music sheet. This is the story it holds. To be able to touch it means you're someone I can trust. I am yesterday's child of ignorance, the actor now on stage, and the banished sinner of tomorrow, Ciaccona Toccata. Let me tell you, the story of the Golden Anthem doesn't just belong to the Poets Society. It also belongs to me, Ciaccona Toccata. This is how it all started. A mysterious person showed the poets the truth about the Sentinel. Then they decided to become... It didn't take long for the Order to notice us. To keep everyone safe, they gave my father a key to a study. Inside, as you've already seen, I was also... Usually, the food and water in those ships aren't enough to get the people where they need to go. Even if they made it. As for the fire, in the past, everyone thought they were brilliant cantors. But inside, only they understood how fake and arrogant in the world they dreamed of. Poets would no longer be shackled, and everyone could sing freely. That was their wish for the future when the curtain fell. With our bodies to fuel the fire, the ensuing inferno but the Order was afraid. They didn't want any loose end. The Golden Anthem gave my father the key. At first, he wouldn't let me. I still remember the day he handed me the key.
Don't see it as a burden, my child. Remember, true courage isn't hiding it away in your heart. Raise it like a torch, just like the sun, so it can light the way for others. Only this kind of courage can rid your father of the cowardice he showed toward you and your mother.
Father wanted to tell everyone. So the Order put him on a pilgrim sail with the same charges. And I wrote songs. We, the Poet Society and our family, could never prove whether the Sentinel's form is really that of a celestial steed. All we could do was hold on to us, but now I have that choice again. Do I reveal the truth? Always worrying about my next meal, wandering from place to place, but this time, I have you and my friends with me. I can't let you all repeat my fate.
Like I said, the truth exists to be uncovered. There are hints of the sea inside Ciaccona's melodies. You should take greater pride in being a poet.
Thank you. Thank you for understanding everything.
This song. It's the one she performed last time. The melody is the same, but why does it sound so sad this time?
Oh.
So, Miss Poet, have you made your decision?
This is a poem I've never seen before. It's so different from what they used to write. Do not place flowers on my tomb, for I do not
I've already got
rest
goosebumps.
beneath the stone.
I love the focus on music the past couple
I am the
patches.
sea wind at Raguna's walls.
2.4 doesn't seem
I am
like it's
a
going to
dawn
have much
breaks
that
through
round, but
thorns.
nobody expected Cardathea's thing to have music either. So.
Of wings of flame, soaring towards the celestial steed, whose praises I sing, and whose true form I behold.
I know what you're thinking. You're worried I might end up on the same path you did. Go on.
All the hopes will set us free from doubts and fears deep within. Let the sunrise give our wings. Let the twilight soothe our skin.
Follow your heart. I'll be with you. Till the end.
A penniless bard and the laureate roving in a foreign land. Together, we rise up against the order of the deep itself. But as long as the seeds of doubt are planted, the kindling in Raguena will eventually ignite to forge its true gold. There! Now, how's that for a story worth telling? Ah, speaking of which, have you ever read that novel? It's about a knight on a quest to challenge a giant in the name of justice. The knight is also accompanied by a squire. Time after time, they throw themselves at the seemingly invincible giant. I am no Montelli, acolyte of the Order of the Deep, or Knight of Raguena, but still, I shall lead the charge. Yahoo! Mount up, Sir Knight! To battle we go!
Noon and 4 p.m., huh? Well, first things first.
Ha!
Why is this... Oh! There's an extra slot now. I mean, I already could feel it, but I couldn't quite put my finger on why it felt off. Interesting. Anyways. Noon to 4 p.m., huh? High noon.
As the forgotten songs rise once more, a tale of the past I shall tell.
Why is there a legion of gondolas back there?
This is the story of those who were accused of blasphemy.
What?
They were once poets, singing songs for the divinity and the order. This is how their music became known to all. Until one day, they stumbled upon a truth that could not be proven. The Sentinel, whom we've always revered, is not what they seem. The true divinity granting us blessings is a majestic celestial steed that gallops across the high seas and soars through the skies. And the teachings in our scriptures? Lies. Lies told to us by the Order. Ask yourselves this. Why would Imperator, who once sent Renacita voices from the heavens, allow their people to suffer aboard those pilgrim sails? How could poets who once sang the praises of the Sentinel come to curse and resent Renacita, a land they loved so much? People of Renacita, have you ever wondered why the Order forbids us from seeing their earliest scriptures? Why did none of the fools that boarded the pilgrim's sail ever thank the Sentinel? Imperator and Raguena have always stood united, yet lately, they seem to have vanished from our dreams. Why is that?
Ciaccona Toccata, in the name of Imperator and Primus Fenrico, you are hereby under arrest. You will face them.
Is that so? And what are the charges this time, if I may ask?
Blasphemy!
Oh! The same old tricks again! Is this how the Order intends to keep the truth hidden?
Save your empty words for your confession to the Sentinel. Damnation! She's not working alone!
Farewell, Sir Acolyte! Oh, and just a little tip for you. Keep your eyes on the audience below.
God. God damn it. Why? Why is it timed so annoyingly? There! Finally.
Let's see how much of the Order's hypocrisy these empty words can unveil. I have faith. The music of the Golden Anthem will one day echo across Raguna's skies again.
This would have been much easier if we revealed ourselves at this point. Like...
Phew. A masked hero suddenly appeared, rescuing the bard right when she was about to be apprehended by the Order. But that's a story for another time. Even with a mask on, people will still recognize the laureate. I'm now a wanted criminal by the Order. Now this is what a real poet, no, wait, a real knight is supposed to be. Well then.
This room
is our final stage. Now, it's your turn to step onto it.
You will witness a different world.
You arrogant hypocrites!
Led by curiosity and wonder, you step forward.
I am the gentle sea breeze, sweeping through Whisperwind Haven and towards Raguna's high walls.
Well, have you decided on your answer? I look forward to the public trial.
Perhaps our fates are not so different after all.
It is time, sinner against the Sentinel.
But you.
I will continue to sing.
As long as there are those who breathe and see.
My eternal summer will never fade.
That was a really nice cutscene. It was a summary of the entire story that we played through, but it was still a nice cutscene. I like the visuals.
Do you feel it? The breeze from Whisperwind Haven. You can even catch the faint scent of wet grass. Next thing you know, maybe an apple will fall on our heads. Or maybe a big grey wolf will leap out and chase a squirrel down a rabbit hole. Thank you, Rover. I don't have the Blessed Maiden's miracles, nor the powers of a hero. I'm just a wandering bard. The only thing I can offer is to immortalize this moment. I will carry all the stories about you with me. By the way, I met a man at Margarita's who claims to be a playwright. You should watch out for him. I'm not entirely sure who he really is. But my guess is that he might be the resonator who's been working with the Order.
Honestly, this whole time I've been...
Here, you can have this music sheet.
Oh, there's our next
I'm heading off
collectible.
on a new mission. An escape mission! Starting today, I'm no longer just a wandering bard. I've got the Order hunting me now. A journey like this, it's begging to be written into a story. Don't you worry. I still remember our promise. About the song I wrote you. We will meet again. And I'll sing it for you, I swear. After all, we're partners in crime now.
My
say,
Lord
gonna
Primus,
think there's an
it
epilogue
seems
with
your
this guy.
plan has not gone quite as you'd hoped. You sought to revive the blasphemous Poet Society, spreading their legacy to stoke the fires of prejudice, and through my aid summon daemons to sow fear across Raguena City.
I care not for labels of good or evil. My only care is Raguena's order and chaos. Fear is but one tool among many to maintain stability.
Ah, truly the words of one in possession of great power. Such lines are rare, even in plays. And yet, why do you seem so restless, Lord Fenrico? This is hardly the character I expected from you. Is it that foreign laureate that unsettles you so? Or perhaps that insignificant Toccata girl? Or is it something else you seek?
Out of respect for our partnership, some things are better left unsaid.
Of course. As you will, Lord Fenrico.
Wait. You were the one who led the Poet Society to that lithograph, weren't you? I've heard whispers of your presence at Whisperwind Haven around that time. Whenever you were asked, you claimed to be seeking inspiration. Why are you doing this?
As you've said yourself, out of respect for our partnership, some things are better left unsaid. There was no deception. Indeed, I was seeking inspiration. In the end, I found a story about birds in a cage. The birds, having uncovered the truth, must decide. Will they choose to fly into the unknown, or remain caged within the familiar? Ah, Lord Fenrico, a word of reminder. Just as the young Toccata mentioned, how long has it been since you last dreamed of your true divinity? Armed with a wooden spear and a broken helmet, the knight charged at the windmill. His squire, ever loyal, trailed close behind as if becoming one with the knight. Together they charged again and again, true knights in spirit, ignoring the countless wounds they bore. Truly astonishing. Even if you took such a script, what could you possibly accomplish, Hecate?
And I guess that's that. Okay. And now I can get more from doing each thingy, right? Yep. Alright, let's finish off this one, I suppose.
Maybe be because you went to Avenolium and uncovered some of the truth the Order is desperate to hide. It will take a lot more than that to even leave a scratch on you. Perhaps they're having someone else do their dirty work.
Mm-hmm.
Banished and forever stripped of the right to sing for the Sentinel and the Order. That much is true. The Order's...
Okay, these are all just really short, pretty inconsequential things. So far, at least.
A fire, seemingly forged from the depths of hell, that doesn't quite add up. If hellfire was all that remained from the Pilgrim's sail, then could they really have... That's an awfully big assumption. What if they never boarded the Pilgrim's sail at all? What if none of them perished in that fire? Another poet, intimately familiar with the poets of the Golden Anthem, you say? If such a...
Okay. Well, I guess I'll get those rewards at some point in the future. Anyways. Hello. Future / present / editing me again. It is now the end of the story, and I did not realize until after editing this, or after like starting to edit this, that I yapped for almost half a fucking hour here. So if you're interested in listening to me ramble about the story, about not even about the story, I don't really talk too much about the story, but I do ramble a lot about stories in gacha games as a whole, and the story here, and so on and so forth, and my fears and hopes for the future and so on. But point is, this is a very long one, and more so than any other video, I do not recommend listening to the whole thing. If you want to, then go ahead and thanks, but yeah, it's a lot, and I don't really want to bother editing it, to be quite honest. Yeah, I'm just a bit lazy here. So yeah, if you want to hear me just ramble about gacha game bullshit for like 20 minutes or something, there you go. Anyways, ciao, see you next time. So, what are my thoughts on the story? For anyone who cares and actually watches this, like, ending few minutes. I say few. It usually stretches from anywhere from like a couple minutes to like, I think the longest was Zani's one, which was like 10-15 minutes of me rambling. And that was it cut down, by the way. Honestly, pretty mediocre. I had heard a lot of people hyping this up, so I was quite excited. I'd even heard quite a few people say this should have been a main story quest, but suffice it to say that got my hopes up for nothing. There is now a time limit, as far as I'm concerned, on the Renacita storyline, or Reguna, rather, specifically, because Reguna is now in a weird post-story state, and it's the same problem that a lot of these games have that I mentioned earlier, which is, I mentioned earlier in the video somewhere, which is that usually, because things are meant to be left in a certain state, it usually doesn't end up progressing much. So for example, in Star Rail, no matter what has happened, the IPC is we never take actual action against the IPC, because the IPC is an important piece that's going to be used later on. In Genshin, nothing ever happens with the Fatui, because the Fatui are an organization that is tied to the big story later on. Right? But even besides that aspect, there's also the fact that the characters just the story just tends to sort of leave things half done. So for example, with the IPC, we say, like this, and this to me is a similar state to Belobog. Where, for example, in Belobog, the IPC showed up. This was also our introduction to the IPC, by the way, if we've forgotten. The IPC shows up and violently, very aggressively colonizes Belobog, shall we say, with literally with brute force. and we just kind of let them go after we've basically agreed that they won't take over Belobog, but we still let them come to Belobog and do their thing anyway. And then we end up becoming friends with Topaz. Like, it's a really weird half and half neutral bullshit, because there's gonna be people who want Topaz and who want to see more of the IPC, and people who, you know, don't. And because it's a gacha game, the most profitable path is to do the middle of the road answer. And Raguna right now is in this really awkward post-story state, where much like Belobog, Raguna could have been finished. We could have finished this section now, and in my opinion, they should have. Maybe 2.4 will change my thoughts on this, but this should have been the patch to cut off the Order, to get rid of the Primus, to force Cristoforo into, you know, Phase 2 or whatever you want to call it, and that leading into 2.4, and, you know, hype up his appearance in 2.4 as well. And just get Raguna on the track forward to a world where they know, you know, so that they know the truth and they can, you know, the world can fucking progress. And instead, here we are. The Primus is still in charge, the Order is still in charge. We're also in this really awkward middle ground where, when it comes to the main story, the Rover is a fucking walking god, right? Like, the Rover walks into fights with incredibly powerful beings and wins every single time, right? Even from as far back as 1.0, we walked into the Rover and Gian walked into a fight against a Threnodian and won, like a direct confrontation. That's pretty extreme, you know? I mean, we didn't fight the Threnodian itself. It felt like this weird, dreamless thing and all that, but you get what I mean, right? Like, we fought, you know, we fought Hecate. We fought Hecate in 2.0. We once again fought a Threnodian just one patch ago. One patch before this story, I mean. And so on. But when it comes to actually doing something with a story, it's the same problem as Stell in Honkai Star Rail. It's the same problem as Traveler in Genshin, where we don't take that crucial final step to actually do something that'll we take action in the immediate moment, but we don't take any action that has long-term consequence. And while that can be a character trait, these games never treat it as a character trait. Rover isn't choosing to stay uninvolved because Rover plans to be a neutral party, right? Or because Rover has to do as the name suggests and rove. Right, that's never part of it. Rover wants to help these people. Rover wants to do all of this. But Rover just doesn't. We always stop short of taking that final step, of being that guiding light, of pushing forward and making big changes. This was the time. We had ample... The Rover at this point has had ample proof and has seen more than enough to have come to the conclusion that the Order needs to be reformed at minimum. And instead, we don't do anything. We've given this. We did one speech to the citizens, and we sort of did the. We've sort of done the like. We've done the sort of like half and half, you know. Legally, it wasn't the laureate. Legally speaking, nothing, you know, it was just a poet being saved by some random wanderer. But realistically, we all know that that was a case of Ciaccona, someone who had already been banished once, showed up, told everyone to fucking think for themselves for once, and then was escorted out of the Order's hands by the laureate. You know, that was all, like, that's what actually happened. But that's the end of the story. Which is especially annoying because the entire point of the story is that it was passing the torch from the poets, from the tortured poets, whatever the fuck, the tortured wait, no, that's not what they're called. What the fuck were they called? That's not what they were called, right? Right? Am I insane? Okay. Yeah, whatever, the Poet Society or something, right? Those poets, those poets found the truth, then they passed the torch to, you know, Ciaccona, the Takata family, and then the Takata family was exiled one by one until finally, well, not exiled, exiling would actually be a better ending, was banished, executed, and then finally being left down to Ciaccona, who became the last one who had the torch. This was the perfect setup for Ciaccona to take that torch and burn this stupid cathedral to the ground. And instead, we're here. The Order is still in power. The people have, at best, the people have that fire of curiosity, that fire of that little seed has been planted as the plan was. But the problem is, the entire point of the story was that the seed keeps getting planted and no one actually ends up growing it. You know what I mean? This is the same problem that keeps happening, which is that every past generation, every past poet has constantly found the truth, told people the truth, or tried to tell people the truth, and then been executed, and then nothing changed, and we've just done exactly the same thing. This time we have the added bonus that the people know the laureate saved someone from that fate, which means that there's now more credibility to it, but that doesn't get rid of the fundamental problem, which is that the Order is still in control. All we've done, at best, is set this up for a civil war, which will be another plotline in another patch. When in reality, this should, in my opinion, have been it. This should have been the patch. We should have ended right here. This should have been the end of Raguena. We're going to Septimont, we're going to move on to the next part of Renacita. You know, we've finished Raguena. The entire story, everything that relates to Raguena is done, so why the fuck didn't we finish it? It's the most annoying part of so many gacha game stories, and unfortunately Wuthering Waves has fallen into the same trap. The Fatui never get any comeuppance because their time will only come when we at minimum when we finally reach Snezhnaya. The IPC will never get any comeuppance for their actions because, well, to be quite frank, because the IPC has like 7 other highly marketable characters, and people who have no fucking critical thinking skills are going to simp for them and buy them. You know? Wuba has fallen into the same trap, and I'm really scared. Wuba has done a really good job on the individual story front. Even back then. Right? Parts of 1.0, particularly like the latter third of 1.0, were good. You know, 1.1, 1.3, 1.4, with like Camellius, like the companion quests across these years. Well, you know, 1.2 for the people who were into that. It's been so long, and I didn't really pay attention to Judge or Xiang Liao's stuff, so that's my bad. 1.2 was the one patch where I basically came closest to, not really quitting, but I was most out with Wuba. But yeah, you know, 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, you know, all of these things. Well, 2.1 was a bit lacking. 2.1 was pretty mediocre. But yeah, like, on the individual story, Wuba has been really good, but Wuba has been making the same mistake, which is not really committing on the long term. And again, in this case, nothing happened. Zani's quest at least had a complete thing, and, you know, it fit, right? Because Zani's thing was always going to be, you know, Zani's thing was always on the more ground level, right? In this case, her thing was with the criminal, like, underworld. But Ciaccona's, this should have been, again, this should have just been the end. And instead we're postponing this shit for who even knows when. Honestly, if I had to guess, we're halfway through the 2.x cycle. We're in 2.4. Which, if I remember correctly, is the last one that was teased way back in 2.1. Like, God. Who knows? Like, I can only hope Raguna's gonna finish soon. Because if not, we're gonna leave Rinascita, and it's gonna be in the exact same state it already was in. Like, it just feels shit. And it's just, again, I'm so tired of it in so many gacha games. Even Fate Grand Order, a fucking decade-old mobile game, has more consequences than fucking than this shit. Things actually happen there. Fuck. Anyways, yeah. Incredible disappointment. The individual moments were really nice. All the cutscenes were good, and I liked the music. And that's about where it ends. The story really just hammered the Order as an evil organization. Like, straight up irredeemable, fully evil organization. And then we got no comeuppance. You know these things normally work by setting up the bad guy, making the audience fully want to see the bad guy get their ass whooped, and then you whoop the bad guy's ass, and we all go home happy. This is that, but if the bad guy doesn't get his ass whooped. It's like a fucking ladder. It's like a fucking... It's shit. It's just shit. It's the same reason I gave up on Star Rail. Like, I got sick of the IPC showing up, ruining everyone's day, being a genuinely evil organization, and then getting zero comeuppance for it. Whatever. I'll see you in 2.4. I'm really hoping 2.4 story is way better, but this has put a massive damper on my enjoyment. The 2.x cycle was doing really well, and this is probably the second worst. 2.1's was definitely the worst story, but that's because it was an event and it was very much filler crap that no one cares about. So yeah. I'll see y'all next time. That was very ranty, and if you disagree, I fully understand. The story was nice, was certainly interesting, but it did nothing but tell us, again, like, it told us everything we already knew, which is that the Order is evil and banishes people who tell the truth. And then just spent 2 hours building up to nothing. Because what happened? What was the end result? Ciaccona told the truth, got banished, and then we saved her from banishment. But she's still banished. Like, she still can't show up here anymore. And the setup with Carlotta ended up being, like, that's another thing. The setup with Carlotta now stacks on to the setup with the Physaelius. So now we have there's 5 different layers of bullshit here. The Montelli family has already been against this to begin with. The Physaelia family has finally been freed of their shackles, which means that the Physaelia family is now fully armed and ready to also turn on this shit. Not to mention we found out the Physaelia family were always loyal to the real Sentinel anyway. The Montellis were slightly less. The Montellis have been more but the thing is that even disregarding faith in the Sentinel, the Montellis are still better than the Order because the Montellis are actually people-oriented. You know? At least as of right now, they're in early-stage capitalism, so, you know, the Montellis are pretty solid right now. They're trying to get a better life for the people. For the most part, you know? So the Montellis are against this, the Order. The Physaelius are against this, and are now free to go against this publicly, since there's nothing holding them back. There's a new laureate in town, and they're against this, so that's 3. Every single thing is stacked against the Order, and for some fucking reason, we're still here. This should have ended. Ciaccona should have been the final catalyst. A bard to tell this tale of how Raguna overthrew this lying bullshit organization. But here we are, back to square one. Nothing's changed between the end of 2.2 and the end of 2.3. Brilliant. Alright, I think I've said everything I could possibly say in like 3 different ways. I'm pretty sure I've repeated myself a bunch. But yeah, I needed to get that on my system. Very disappointing story. I'll see y'all next time. I'm saving it for the stream. I'll pull for Cardathea's weapon, and of course we'll be doing the 2.4 main story quest. Where is it? Right here. Wait, no, right here. And yeah. Oh. Once again, thanks for watching, and see you next time.